Obviously the opposite to Martin, and I almost need a little stepping stool here. So for those of you I haven't had the pleasure to meet, my name is Dougal McFuzzlebutt, and so I represent RAA Travel. So I'm the SA Tourism Manager or Travel Product Manager there. And so we're a distributor of products. So very much about understanding the customer experiences, which is what I'll be talking about. And obviously the customer experience is what most of our business is about ensuring that our customers are happy and that obviously they then tell more people and the word gets out. Without them, we don't really have a business. So how do you provide quality visitor experiences and demonstrate inclusive practices? So with this question, it's about outlining the practices you have in place to ensure the delivery of a high quality customer service and experience through that journey. So things to think about are obviously first impressions really count. So with that, it's about connecting with them as soon as they arrive. So it's really understanding what you think they want to see or how you want to represent your business when they arrive. You know, it's about the look, it's about the feel. That instant connection is something that you're never going to get again. So make it really powerful, whether that's, you know, discussing how you greet them or what you do to make that first impression very rewarding on their behalf. And then obviously with that, how do you then capture that information? How do you understand how they've felt and what you have been able to provide to them? So, you know, post-experience, what kind of information do you collect and how do you collect it? There's obviously lots of different formats. And I know that Martin spoke about a few before on a system-based level. But even how we capture it on social media is a very big way, and how we provide that feedback as well. And I think one of the hardest things we do is how do we deal with constructive criticism, let's call it. We know that customers can be very picky. So it's about understanding that interaction that you have with your customers along that journey as well. Obviously, everyone has different expectations, so understanding what those are and how you use that feedback down the track. So a big one over the last year and a half has obviously been the disruption within business from COVID. So I think we've all had to rethink our business in one way or another, and how we you know, communicate to our customers or potential customers. So it's about talking about how you ensure they, you know, whoever had bookings were able to either reschedule or receive a refund, what your offers were, how did you get in touch with them in the first place? Did you actually pick up the phone and call everyone? I know for some that's going to be an extremely hard thing to do. But, you know, was it via email communication? Did you ensure that everyone had been communicated to and everyone received some form of either refund or reschedule? And I think communication is obviously a very big part of the customer experience along the entire journey, from the moment they look at your website and book to obviously when they leave your premise and provide feedback or you request feedback. So did you have to change your product offering? Obviously some venues, especially within hospitality or in the wine industry, had restrictions. I know that, you know, even within the hotels industry, there was a lot of changes in what you could do and how you could do it, and whether it be changing to things like keyless entry. How did you communicate all of this and let people know that what you were doing were in line with current restrictions and ensuring their safety along that journey as well? But also, you know, with your current base, I'm guessing most people would collect data on who has stayed there. So how do you communicate with them for returning customers or people who do want to return to your business as well. So is it through the use of e-news? Is it through the use of social media? Obviously that's for retention, but also to try and build new. So the communication side is obviously a very big part. So talk about how communication helped you continue to be a business, but also grow at the same time and keep people informed. So outline how you committed to quality customer service throughout all areas of the business. So things like staff training, service principles and policies, and staff rewards. So once again, the customer experience, I think, you know, from where I've been in business, whether it be back in my old IT telco days when I had no idea what I wanted to do, to now, I think people forget that there's actually internal and external customers. So when we talk about customers and customer service, it's not just about what your customers are who are paying you. It's also about the people you're paying to provide that experience or that service. So, you know, staff are obviously a massive asset. If you've got the wrong people, it can be quite detrimental to your business. So making sure that you train them, making sure that you look after them, making sure that they're actually really aware of what you want to achieve in your business, and have them as part of that delivery. Because majority of the time, you know, we're not there to actually do it ourselves. We've got people to do that for us. So ensuring that they understand what you're wanting to do, share your passion, have them understanding your passion and sharing that passion onwards and upwards. And always obviously wanting them to strive to do their best. Retention is obviously very hard, and certainly at this point in time, from a lot of the businesses I speak with, it's hard to find quality staff. It's actually even hard to find staff in general. So when you do get people, you want to make sure that they're right for the job. So it's, oh, that's okay. So yeah, talk about how you really keep people within your business, or staff within your business. Keep them, talk about how you keep them informed. Obviously, once again, with all the changes that have happened, even within the last couple of days, how you keep them up to date to ensure that they're then doing the right things. I think, you know, looking at tour operators, that's obviously a very difficult one, of making sure that, there you go, we've got one over there. So, you know, understanding that your staff know what they have to do when it comes to the restrictions and even the usage of face masks on transport, etc. now. So how do you do this? How do you pass on this information to your staff? Is it, you know, through training? How often do you train them? What kind of training do you do? Do you only do it when they start? Do you do it every 3-6 months? Do you have team meetings on a weekly basis, monthly basis? So really talk about how you keep everyone informed within your business as well. I know that emails are a very easy way to do it, but it's always hard to get to those as well. But they are obviously a very valuable tool within any business. So when we talked about it a minute ago about the collection of feedback from our customers, obviously a lot of that can go towards staff recognition as well. I think when you're working within a business, a lot of people these days will have a touch point with a single person, or maybe it might be multiple people. But I think when someone creates a really genuinely above the board kind of, or above the mark kind of customer service, it's really good to ensure that you recognize them. But how do you recognize them? Is it through annual awards? Is it through monthly awards? And do you do that as a singled out, or do you do it in front of a group? So really go into, I think, how you look after your staff as well. It really is a valuable tool to retain those high quality staff members. The other thing as well is, don't ever forget about providing, you know, staff discounts and even family ones as well. I know that at RAA, we've got some really good ones that, you know, do support all of our staff, whether it's even something like a social club that I'm lucky enough to be president of. So just a bit more work for me. But it is really about how you look after them, how, you know, is it just extending that bit further so, you know, that family can also take part in what you're offering. Because remember that with every person that is part of your business, if one person has a great time, they'll go and tell at least generally about 4 people. So word of mouth is still a very, very valuable tool. Now it's doing it to me. Right. So question, if you have 0 staff, well, coming from a business sole trader, I always rewarded myself. Friday lunches were amazing, I can tell you. So yeah, you probably wouldn't be talking so much about staff, but maybe talk about how you keep yourself energized, how you keep yourself passionate. You know, that can often be a hard thing to do if you are a sole trader, is how do you stay passionate in what you do? But we've all got our ways of doing it, and mine was to always have interaction with external parties and always be out there, always talking to people, keeping a light of what was happening with the industry. So there is always a way of rewarding yourself. Don't you worry about that. So outline how you committed to quality customer service throughout all areas of the business. Oh, sorry, I haven't flicked the switch. No, it's still not doing it for me. I do like this photo though. So while we're doing this, imagery is a massive thing for me. So obviously distribution of products, while I'm on the subject, photography is part of my background as well. So having high quality, high resolution images, the amount of businesses that I see that don't have that, it really is detrimental to what you're doing, trust me, because people will look at photos. I mean, look at social media. The majority of posts on social media that get seen are those with really good capturing images. So please just remember, images are everything, and make sure you do at least once a year, get a professional photographer to come in and help you with your business to get some good images. Moving back to this. So consider all points of customer engagement. So what are your customer engagement points? So is it email, phone, you know, greeting guests when they arrive? So there's that, once again, that first point of contact. Is it how you send out your booking confirmations? And funnily enough, that is a very big part now of online bookings, is what do they get? What information do they get? Are they aware that they need to bring that with them? Does it have a QR code? There is so much just in that online space of that first touch point, even before they get to your business as well. So talk about those touch points and what they are and how often they are as well. It may be that once you get a booking via your online channel, that you actually do give them a call, so you have that one-on-one interaction with them and they're aware that there is a human behind that business. So we all have varying levels of need of information as individuals as well. And obviously customers are a big part of that. Some people need everything to the minute detail. So, you know, really talk about what information you provide. Do you get feedback about that as well? About, you know, I think you should probably put this on your website or put this in your booking confirmation. Any information like that that you've also used as feedback to then update what you do along that journey as well. And obviously letting them know what they need to bring. So obviously with hotels, it's a bit different. They bring what clothes they want to wear generally. But if it is a tour as of such, you know, do you need to bring sunglasses? Do you need to bring sunscreen? Is that provided? Those very small things that we sometimes don't think of is something that we need to keep our customers aware of. Dietary requirements, a massive, massive one, especially in the F&B industry. So once you provide an overview of how customer service is delivered, consider how your business monitors and assesses customer service to ensure continued quality delivery. So this is going back to, I suppose, once again, the feedback, and feedback is obviously a massive part of any form of customer service. I think it's something that we need to really be aware of these days more than ever, with being online across so many different platforms. Social media is obviously, we have so many keyboard warriors out there these days that it may seem small for you, but for them, a lot of people won't come and talk to you face to face, sadly, these days. They'll wait until they get home because they want to tell the world, not just you, on their experience. And you'll generally find that a lot of that is sometimes negative. But if you look at it as constructive, how do you deal with that? How do you then take that and, I suppose, work that into your business? How do you discuss it with staff? It may be based on an individual, it may be based on the business as a whole. You know, how do you collect that data, and do you store the data, or do you just let it go? I think, you know, collecting data is a very big thing, to be able to look back and see where you've gone and what data you've used. So capture all data. Positive is always amazing. It's a feel good. But that's generally telling you something you're doing right, not something that could change. So being able to look back, and once again, this is the quantitative side. One bit of feedback may not mean too much, but over time you may get that same bit of feedback that all of a sudden you go, right, well, maybe it is because we're not hitting the mark on that. How often do you check your social media? And I know that this is such a hard thing when we're so busy in our business every day. But it is such an important tool these days, based on ratings, based on feedback. If you're not getting back to people in time, it actually shows, I think, on Facebook how quick you are to respond as well. So, you know, people do look at that and go, oh, well, if I write, I'm not going to hear back for 30 days, which is really poor customer service. So just understanding how you collect that, you know, how you respond. Do you have someone dedicated to responding? You know, do you try and respond that day where you can? That's a very, very big part of customer service, is that response mechanism. And as I said here, you know, not all feedback is positive. So, you know, how do you take that? How do you deal with it? Build that into it, because I think knowing how you deal with feedback is an extremely big part of customer service. And so be aware that it will be looked at, because I think constructive feedback or negative feedback sometimes is the hardest thing to deal with when it comes to customer service. So consider how you actively encourage feedback as well. So, you know, this is a big part of improving the customer experience. So sometimes you can hit the nail on the head before it's even happened. So is it, you know, at the end of a tour, or when someone's leaving, do you provide them with a feedback form? You know, hopefully by asking them face to face, you might actually get an answer, rather than having them then fill in, you know, feedback online when they get back home. So that can be a valuable tool as well. So I think it's about that that proactive side of feedback as well, and how you manage it, rather than letting people be, or being reactive and letting others manage it for you. So as a part of your delivery of quality visitor experiences, you need to demonstrate how you consider visitors' special and specific needs. And obviously there are quite a lot of those these days, and that can be, you know, a variety of different things across different businesses. Hotels, obviously, you need to look at things like, you know, is it wheelchair accessible? A big one these days is it pet friendly? I know that a lot of people want to travel with pets these days. And then, you know, dietary requirements. It's amazing when, and Adam, you'd know this probably more than anyone in this room, with dietary requirements, there's so many things these days that you have to cater for. So how do you let people know that you cater for specific needs to support those people? You know, is it on your website? Is it on your booking confirmation? You know, do you have special classes? And I know, Adam, you provide such as a vegetarian cooking class, one that I'd probably never attend. But you know, it's amazing that sometimes just having something that's specific to that needs can really make a big difference to people who are vegetarian or who do require wheelchair access. And having it in somewhere that is very easily seen as well. So understanding those needs, but I think the biggest part is letting people know that they're available, so that when they are looking to book, they know straight away. So obviously part of that is examples of how you actually provide for those customers with different or specific needs, and explain the outcomes or the successes. So, you know, once again, this comes down to, I suppose, feedback from people. Or is it the fact that you did have a property that previously didn't have wheelchair accessibility, or you were an F&B venue that didn't offer a specific dietary requirement? How did you change that to make sure it was? Was it based on feedback? What did you do and how did you do it? So look at examples of what you've done and timelines that you've done it in as well. So use graphics to support and enhance your response as well. So if you've got examples of staff communications, if you can, you know, use customer satisfaction surveys that you've done in the past, you know, use those specific flow charts or charts in general to show that, you know, maybe your NPS score was quite low previously, but all of a sudden you've really captured the market and you've changed your business to provide exceptional customer service, and that shows incredible growth in the ability to change what you're doing for other people rather than based on just what you want your business to be as well. You know, if it's a hotel, do you have specific feedback? You know, do you have a take a photo of a visitor book if you've got those at your property? Anything like that that will show, you know, really good feedback, and you know, find a nice page that has maybe a bit of both, you know, some constructive but also some positive as well. I think it's always good to show both sides. I don't think we've always got 100%. If you've got 100%, you know, I think that's amazing, but it's going to be a very, very rare thing. Apart from that, good luck. Wish everyone the best in this year's SA Tourism Awards. It's my first year judging, so I can't wait to have a look at everyone's submissions and see what you put into us. So wish you all the best, and I can't wait to celebrate with you all later this year. Enjoy. There's always one.
Quite a big question now with only a small word count. How do you suggest that we focus on the main elements, or have you got any hints on keeping within the word count but trying to address the most important sections?
Look at what's important for you. I think examples, I think we've all mentioned that within our presentations. Anything that can show how you've modeled your business based on what your customers want, based on feedback. Examples are an amazing way to do that. So I think there's probably less opportunity in the customer experience side to maybe use photos unless it is of feedback or things like that. But examples are a big way. So really maximize on how you've utilized customer feedback to really create a better customer experience.
Any other questions?
That's a surprise. Fantastic. Thank you.